on the phone. Good morning, Dr. Scott.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody.
All right, good morning. And we have Brother Professor Griff, a regular now on the, my Life and Health Literacy Show. What's up, Griff?
Greetings. How's everyone doing? Doc, how you feel, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Trying to be like you, man. A little bit shorter, but I'm good.
And we have Sister Soleil, who is in our studio. Greetings, sis.
Greetings. Thank you. I'm doing well. Good to see you again.
Great. Likewise. It's going to be a good show as we are preparing for some good things going on in the community and good things going on that are so necessary as we look up and we see the climate, the political climate, the social and otherwise climate, shifting and needing to shift in the community. Let's jump right in. Dr. Whitaker.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I need you to speak up just a bit if you don't mind.
Okay.
We're grabbing your signal, but it's a little shy.
My mom's landline, so I hope it's clear.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay.
Okay, great. We got you now. Tell us a little bit about yourself. There are a couple of people, 2 or 3 that might not know who you are, of the thousands that are going to check out not only you being here in the D.C. area, but also listening to this program. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Okay, let's see here. Dr. Whitaker, born and raised South Central Los Angeles. Was inundated very early with a natural component. My dad used to give me herbs and supplements before going to school every morning for 12 straight years, K through 12. And one thing that I noticed those 12 years, I never missed a day of school, and I got the perfect attendance award. So I had to relate it to my dad and that aspect of driving me towards the health field. I ended up staying in the sciences while attending college, getting an engineering degree, continuing my studies with an MBA. Then I went and got my doctorate in naturopathic medicine. And I've been helping people for the last almost 30 years.
Wow.
And I've been fortunate to travel the world and visit the different healing sciences, of course, from the motherland, Central Asia, Southeast Asia, and now in the they call it the Gulf region of the world. So I try to implement what I see and use it for us and to help us in our battles here with this beast in America.
Yes, sir. Well, and we appreciate the great work that you're doing. And we've had you here before, and look forward to having you back here as a spokesperson on health and wellness from a perspective that maybe even in 2016 is still kind of different for most people. Most people are still looking at it like this is new, and they don't recognize that the work that you're doing is not as a result of some new science that was come up with over the course of the last couple of years, but this is ancient science. And I'm sure when you traveled throughout the world, you ran into that ancient science and got an opportunity to see that great work that is being done, and that great work that has been healing people for years, right?
Yeah, that's true. I've seen the older, the older portion of those societies, where the men and the women in the ages of 90 to 100 still out in the fields working, no canes, no wheelchairs. You didn't see anything like a pharmacy in those areas. Of course, the children are taking care of their elderly as they age. So, but the concept of them being debilitated and having types of wires and connections, I didn't see it.
Right. And you're going to be speaking here at Everlasting Life next Wednesday, a week from today. And can you give our audience a snapshot of what it is that you're going to be speaking about?
Well, I hope to touch on the top three killers of our communities, which in terms of labels would be cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. Then I want to expand a little with vaccinations, the current climate of the healthcare industry, and whatever else the Creator lays on me that night, I'm just going to bring it in.
There it is. That's what's up. And you're going to be introduced by none other than Sister Soleil, who's here in the studio with us. And
oh, yeah. I'm already afraid of her.
No.
You know how that is. Sometimes you get it. No, I don't want her introducing me because then, I'm going to have to play catch up my whole presentation.
Oh, no.
Right. Exactly.
But, so we look forward to you being here, and we look forward to the wisdom that you've, amassed over the years of learning and experiencing, wellness, and truly our people need it, and we need it from as many people as we can get it from, and we need it as frequently as we can get it. So, I'm excited, and I look forward to having a great success, getting a bunch of people out here, so that we can show our support for institutions that are looking out for our best interests, and also for looking out for ourselves, because we reflect on what's going on with us today. Something's wrong, Dr. Whitaker. Something has gone severely wrong. The pilot of this plane we're about to crash, and I don't think our people are waking up to it. I think we're just we're going down with the ship, and we're not really concerned that our lives are coming to an end. How do you expect to approach this so that you can wake up our people and get them to see what's going on?
Oh yeah, those pilots and those people riding the boats, they're out at sea without a compass,
right?
And got the people going in all kind of directions, and following trends and getting excited about who's sitting up there at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and all these types of things, and not really focusing on real issues like your health. Because without the health, it doesn't matter the monetary gains you have or the fame that you have. It doesn't mean anything. And so what I hope to do is just to interject new thinking, new responsibilities that we all have to take upon ourselves, that we must take our health into our own hands. The days of waiting on the Superman to fly out of the sky and save us all is long gone. And if we don't, then we'll be set up like they did in the movie Quarantine 1 and 2, and the outcome is not very bright.
Right. Again, we're listening to Dr. Scott Whitaker as he's sharing with us what he's going to be speaking about when he comes here to the D.C. metropolitan area in just a week from today. It's going to be November the 29th.
I think it's the 30th?
30th.
30th. Okay, great. That's why I need you all. But we're going to be blessed with his presentation, but also we're going to have Sister Soleil, who's going to be speaking as well. And Soleil, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be sharing with us, and maybe a background on you and health and wellness, and how did you get into this?
Wow. Okay. First, I just want to say it's just an honor. I spoke to Dr. Whitaker on the phone last night, and he jokingly talks about coming behind me, being in this humble manner, but I feel completely honored and blessed to be able to even introduce this man whose life's work speaks for itself, and everything that he's doing for the community and the people to help educate them on the paradigm that we're in right now as far as health and wellness. So for me, I've used a lot of his material when I teach. So most people know me as the recording artist Soleil and as a rapper. But my life's work after that has evolved into a work of health and wellness and educating the community from the standpoint of mindfulness, of energy work. So I have a black belt in Kung Fu. I teach Jivamukti Yoga. I'm a community herbalist. I teach plant-based nutrition, how to incorporate plants into your diet, how to move away from the standard American diet, which is poison, which is killing our people, and especially in the black community at higher rates. And so my work is to educate people on how to use health and wellness as a form of resistance even. So stepping out of that, this current paradigm which we're in, which doesn't treat people, it treats sickness, it's sick care, it's not health care. It treats symptoms and tries to treat disease and doesn't treat whole people. So it doesn't fall into line with some of the Eastern teachings which follow a biopsychosocial model of treating the whole person. So treating a mind, body, and spirit, because it's all interconnected, and most disease doesn't begin in the physical body, it starts in those energetic bodies, with unresolved issues that we may have, anger and bitterness and grief and things like that. So I teach on that level of how to practice mindfulness, because once we sit down and work on the mind first and everything we do and why are we doing what we do, then we can move towards taking that physical step, because we defeat ourselves in the mind. We're either pre-programmed to act a certain way, to eat a certain way, and we don't want to step outside of that. And then we start thinking too far down the line, like, oh, I can't eat like that forever. I can't give this up forever. I can't, and so we defeat ourselves before we even start. So I like to teach the practices of mindfulness first, and that's just a little bit that I'll be touching on. I'm speaking very briefly next week, really just introducing the man of the hour, Dr. Whitaker, and just touching on some mindfulness ways that we can start working on the mind to even be able to accept the information that he's going to give and then implement it. So not looking so far ahead, but looking and focusing on now. What can I do today? What changes and steps can I make right now? And then implementing those day by day, so it doesn't become such a daunting task to think about changing your lifestyle. So it's a little bit what I'll be discussing on Wednesday, but I'm handing it over to Dr. Whitaker to do what he does.
More than a little bit.
Dr. Whitaker, you got your work cut out for you based on that introduction
Well,
of what she's
saying.
going to be talking about.
Oh, mine will be so brief. I'm passing the baton.
I'm already shaking. I'm telling you.
Oh, no. I am. I'm like, oh, my God, I got to introduce him. No, I'm going to keep it brief. I'm going to talk about what I know and stay in my lane and pass the baton.
Right. And we also have in the studio brother Professor Griff, who's been on the front line for quite some time.
Frontline soldier.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. And been fighting for not just himself, but fighting for all of us. And I had this vision this morning, Griff, and I said, if I were to have a conversation with a revolutionary, there has to be a way for us to qualify them, And, the reason why this came up is because I was talking to a guy last night, stomped down strong, wearing the black boots, the black gear, the black hat, the black glasses, the black gloves. He was ready.
For what?
He was ready. And I'm having a conversation with him, and then he says, let me grab something to eat. I left it in my car. And, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, okay, brother's probably going to get, something from my restaurant, probably. And he comes back with a bag from Chick-fil-A.
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, every revolutionary aspect of anything that he said got wrapped around by this, chicken, this fried chicken breast that he was consuming. And I was like, brother, I said, you probably have the physical capacity to really hurt me. But I just want you to know, out of my sincere desire to convey to you what I think is real important, I said, you're a fraud.
Mm.
You're a fraud.
Wow.
For you to now have all of this strength and aggression and ready to do whatever it is and you're going to eat the food of your enemy. And not just any food, but fried chicken.
Right.
You're gonna eat fried chicken. Griff, I was like, whoa, this is like a pivotal point again in my life where I'm looking at, well, wait a minute, we have to qualify revolutionaries,
Right.
What are we doing? What are we doing to to demonstrate that we're building something in this revolutionary mind other than some rhetoric, you know.
Right.
Talk to me.
But you know something, I think we need to be very clear. Revolution is complete, constructive, conscious, cosmic change. Okay, but now we can't just dress up in it. We have to kind of be it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now that you've destroyed the enemy, now we have the daunting task of dealing with the enemy from within. Because after you've destroyed the enemy and the enemy's no longer here, what are you going to build? Because there's going to be no more Church's Chicken and Kentucky Lied Chicken and Murder King and the rest of these places. They're going to be gone. Right. You've destroyed them all in your revolutionary, violent approach to it. So now you've destroyed everything. Now you have the daunting task of growing the food that you ultimately have to survive on. Mm-hmm. And how are we going to do that after the revolution? I think it was the last poet says, when the revolution comes. Right. When the revolution comes, we have to put everything that this man has given us and put it aside and start to do something for ourselves. If we're not learning that right now, if the revolution happens tomorrow, what's tomorrow, Thursday? Yep. What are we going to do Friday?
Wednesday. Thursday.
How are you going to eat on Saturday? You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And this is where the Dr. Scott Whitakers come in, because they have that knowledge. This is where the Soleils come in, the Layla Africas, the Dr. Melanies, and everyone else that's on the front lines doing that particular work, because after we, the revolutionaries, don't kill them everything, then we have to build a civilization that we can truly thrive in.
Right. As otherwise, if that's not at the forefront of our mind, then we don't really want them to go anywhere. We don't really want them to be destroyed, because to destroy them will be to destroy self. And that doesn't make sense.
No, I mean, we're talking simplistic things. Like, once the revolution is complete, mm-hmm. and you have to use the bathroom,
right?
What you gonna wipe yourself with? No, you're not learning how to grow trees, and then have an engineer come in to set up the factory to have that whole process take place. A lot of us gonna be walking around full of ish. I'm just saying.
Not only full of it, but covered in it too.
Right.
Because we can't wipe it off.
Right. And then bringing it back a full circle back to Dr. Scott Whitaker. When the revolution happens, and then we have to heal ourselves, we're those healers. What medicines, what herbs, what are we going to use to stay healthy enough to even continue on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's up. And Griff, you're going to be speaking here at Everlasting Life this weekend, this Saturday,
right,
the 26th. And give us a little bit on what it is that you'll be sharing.
Well, I'm going to talk about these unholy days, which ties right into what Dr. Scott Whitaker is going to be talking about, because, matter of fact, he should have been speaking before me, because we got to deal with this livid instead of this diet, right. And this approach to how we're going to continue our lives. But I think Soleil mentioned this whole idea of the disease and where it starts. If it starts in that auric field and those other spheres in which we have to operate, what's going to happen in the mental when we're still celebrating holidays that are not our holidays? Right. These holidays actually make some people sick on both ends, spiritually, on a spiritual level, and then physically after Thursday is over. Yep. Thursday is Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Okay, so what happens Friday morning when you wake up taking Pepto-Bismol and some of them other antacids and some of these other things, right, after stuffing yourself with cranberry sauce and turkey legs and thighs and the rest of the parts of the turkey? It's a very real dynamic. Mm-hmm. Just the whole idea of approaching it like it's your diet. The whole idea of getting in a mindset that you're celebrating. Now help me out with this. So Thanksgiving is the celebration of the pilgrims coming over, right? And thanking the Native Americans, or thanking themselves, or thanking God that they survived and stole what they stole from the Native Americans to learn how to plant and grow and survive in America, thus growing strong enough to take over America and commit genocide on the Native Americans.
The slaughter of the Pequot Indians.
Exactly.
And so
that's the
on.
short version.
Yeah.
And this is what we're celebrating?
Yeah.
As an oppressed people ourselves, having been dragged in the holds of ships and brought to America? No, I think not. From the outstart, we need to change the approach to the whole holiday. And if we're going to eat, I think there's just certain other things that we can do. We can use it as a teaching moment. Mm. What are you going to be doing Thursday?
Oh, I'll be in a bhakti yoga class raising money for little girls' education in India. So my children and I, yeah. We'll be
So you're not going to eat at all?
No, we'll eat that day, but it's not. We're not having a Thanksgiving dinner, no. No, today we're actually cooking and doing an ancestor ritual and giving thanks and honor to our ancestors, African ancestors as well as Native ancestors, which I have in my bloodline, giving thanks to those ancestors, pouring libations to them, celebrating them today, and then tomorrow I'm practicing yoga and raising money for a little girl in India. So that's that's me and my children.
Right. I think those of us that are conscious and are on this level, we can think of creative ways in order to offset this whole idea of, as Amos Wilson teaches us, the falsification of African consciousness, and having to trick ourselves and continue to lie to our family members about what this day is supposed to be about, because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right. And we have to be careful, because sometimes we need to be hurt. And, I think of Dr. Whitaker's book, Medicine, and how that probably insulted and upset people. Because, wait a minute, they trust the medical world. They trust they trust what's going on. And he's got a recently released, or as that is the book. Okay.
Yeah.
So that they trust that institution. And when you come with the truth, and the truth isn't what they've been telling you, because my thinking has always been that when the liar is telling you the truth, then chances are the truth that you believe is the truth is actually not the truth, it's a lie. So then just because you believe it's the truth and you've been believing it, and your mama and daddy and everybody, your auntie, cousin, neighbor, and the dog all believe that it's the truth, it doesn't make it the truth.
Right.
And when you realize that their agenda is to keep us, stuck in this space, we got an issue. Doc, tell us about medicine.
Medicine, wow,
Medicine.
A blessing. It's now been in print for 10 years. It came, the concept came back in 1993. I was engaged to a sister, and she went in. She said she had some back problems, and this is down in New Orleans. And she went in. She said, "I'm gonna go in and just get checked." And I said, "Okay, you go get checked, and then you go and then you call me and get out of there, right?" This was on a Monday. I don't know what happened. I got sidetracked in my timing and didn't hear from her. And it came up on a Wednesday. I said, "Man, something's going on. I need to call." And I called, and her dad answered the phone and said she was dead.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, she just went in for a routine. I'm thinking, what happened in 2 days? They said she had leukemia. So I knew they had killed her, and that's what brought about medicine. I said, well, I can't go in and do a John Q. So I'm going to hit them with the pen, because the pen is mightier than the sword.
Right.
So the book took 10 years to write, and it was actually 800 pages, and I got it down to 400. So, it's been nothing but a blessing. I've been allowed to come to your location next week. I've been allowed to meet one of my heroes, Griff. I didn't say that in my introduction, but I'm gonna have to give it to him, because you don't have a Dr. Whitaker without Public Enemy.
Right.
So they were major influence on my development, and so I give you much credit, and may the Creator bless you and the rest of those brothers for coming with that heat. So it's been taking me around the world, put me in places I never thought I would be. I was just in Tijuana this past weekend, and I was at the Oasis of Hope and Cure for Cancer clinics, and the director wanted to take a picture with me because he had read my book, and I'm like, wow, how these people have been recognized, world renowned, and he wanted to take a picture with me, so that was I was humbling. So the book has been just a blessing. It's really strange too. I've never done any advertisement for it. Not one single marketing or advertisement have I done with that book. Period. So that's just the Creator's blessing, and I'm just gonna keep going forward.
Great. Well, we definitely look forward to having you here and downloading this wealth of knowledge and energy that you're going to bring forth. And just any closing remarks that you'd like to make, before we head out, you can share those with us now.
Okay. Well, number one, I can't wait to get there next week. Number two, Sister Soleil, hey, I gotta bring some bodyguards or something.
Well, you heard she's like a 15-degree black belt.
No,
I know. And
that's Griff over here. He's a 15th degree.
And my brother Griff, hopefully I get a chance just to sit down and finally just talk. We always running and giving the salams and running. I never get a chance to just sit down and talk.
No, we're going to sit down and we're going to break some bread, man, some vegan bread.
Okay. And there's one thing I wanted to reflect on. I know Griff, we talked about the revolution. I was just reflecting on a book that I had read a long time ago, and I actually knew the author, William Cooper, in the book Behold the Pale Horse.
Right.
I remember him stating in the book that he always felt that when Uncle Sam was going to crack down on us, it was always going to be, he said it was always going to be on a Thanksgiving. So every Thanksgiving rolls around, I'm always got that in the back of my mind.
Wow.
So I just want to throw that out there.
Right.
Of course, for me, on that day, I'm going to fast and probably watch some catch up on some of my reading, and maybe watch a couple of movies that I've missed that had some message in it.
Right.
So that'll be my daily routine.
Right. Well, again, we thank you, and we look forward to you being here so that we can benefit from that wealth of information that you have for us, and we're thankful. Soleil, as you prepare for introducing Dr. Whitaker, that's going to be a powerful introduction, Dr. Whitaker.
I'm gonna work on making them look real good. Keep it brief and pass the baton. But yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing him speak as well. Like I said, I looked up to him and his work. So it's an honor to be able to introduce him and just share a little piece of my little bit of humble knowledge that I'll share before his presentation. So yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity.
Great. And Griff, we'll have you here on Saturday, spitting some knowledge and elevating us and training up the warriors so we know what direction we need to be marching in. Again, recap for us what's going on Saturday here.
Well, Saturday, November 26th from 4 to 8. Of course, we should say 2017, because if they watch this, like 2016, right? They watch this in 2017, or if we live past these next 4 years with your man in office, we want to be able to look back and say, okay, that happened already, so let me go back and watch this and read this again. But I'm going to talk about the unholy days, even with the language of it. And I want to ask y'all, so how do we get from holy, H-O-L-Y, which the messenger teaches us is something that has not been mixed, diluted, or tampered with. If it's holy, you think it's pure. How do we from holy to holiday, H-O-L-I? What is the difference? And then why does it resonate different with us? And we easily swap the two words out like that's possible, and it's not possible. Holy is holy. You understand what I'm saying? Like when you talk about Halloween, the hallowed is the sacredness of it. You have a hallowed evening, a sacred evening. It's supposed to be a sacred evening. But then when you attach ghosts and goblins and tricking and treating and all this kind of madness to it, you turn it into something else. The magic wands they used to use was made from a certain tree, a certain branch, and it had a certain energy to it. You know that, being a witch. And it had a certain energy to it. What happened now that these people came in and have taken that sacred science and that sacred knowledge and turned it into this thing called Hollywood? The Hollywood is the sacred wood. But everything in Hollywood in California is an illusion. Am I right or wrong? It's tricks. What's behind the curtain and this kind of madness. And it's an illusion. That's the same thing that's going on with these particular holidays. Everything from, we passed Halloween. We're moving towards Thanksgiving, Christmas. The first of the year was the one that kills me, because that sacred energy that starts at the crown chakra, all right, now having to work its way back down to the root chakra, and for the rest of the year after the first, that's where we operate, and that's where they get us, so they can feed us anything, sell us anything, trick us with anything, and this is the thing that we have to kind of get beyond, and grab our lives by the reins and say to myself, okay, we have to get control of how we're being affected by the particular holidays. And of course, that day, I'm going to give honor, praise, and thanks to the Creator through the ancestors for giving us Ishaka Musa Barishango, who actually wrote the book, Mental Genocide in European Holidays. And my lecture will be based on his work. And even everyone that came after him to decode this madness, Steve Coakley and others that have stepped to the plate to decode this madness called the holidays.
That's what's up. That's November 26, 2016, at Everlasting, and at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
At Everlasting Life, 9185 Central Avenue in Capitol Heights, Maryland. And Soleil, tell us about the event that you will be speaking on and introducing Dr. Whitaker.
So Dr. Whitaker will be sharing information about how to heal and prevent cancer, heart disease, diabetes. We'll be talking about, he'll be touching on a little bit on vaccinations and just the ills of this current medical paradigm that we are trapped in. So again, I'll be introducing him, talking to him a little bit about wellness as an act of resistance, mindfulness, energy work, and passing the baton to the man himself. So that will be a week from today, next Wednesday, here at Everlasting Life at 7 p.m. So make sure to come out. You can come out. I believe they can pay at the door. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I had someone ask me that on Instagram. You can pay at the door. Come out. Bring your family. Bring your friends. Come get blessed. Come take control of your wellness. Because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. So all this other stuff doesn't matter.
There's another form of payment, though. It's vegan food stamps.
Absolutely. They always
vegan food.
Come out, get some good food and some good information, and yes, raise your level of consciousness of what you are putting in your mouth. So yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Ain't that a thing? Right after Thanksgiving, they spend a whole day at the table, then the next day on the toilet.
But they got to hurry up, because then they got to spend a whole day spending money at somebody's store.
This whole cycle of illness.
Yeah.
So we're gonna tap into all that.
Great.
Yes.
Well, I thank you all, Dr. Whitaker, Sister Soleil,
Thank you,
Brother Griff, for coming on board and sharing with us, and we look forward to seeing you over the course of the next week, and continuing to learn and elevating our consciousness as we prepare ourselves for, I think it's going to be the 4 best years of our lives when we come together and say, you know what, enough is enough. Let's come together. Let's make this happen. So this has been the Not on My Watch show with a little bit of health literacy. You got to say not on my watch when you got Professor Griff, but we got all this health information, so we come up with the health literacy as well here on the Elife Media Network. You all stay tuned for more great programming.